what it takes. And there'll be more spending moving forward. Of course, the government just unveiled the airport, the ultra-modern airport in Port Harcourt, which was done by the president. So do you think we have a lot more opening up of space here that will make good business for SAHCO?
Oh yes, there's a lot of
and for its main rival, NACO, by the way.
Oh yes, there's a lot opening up. I mean, the government is really keen on aviation reform. And part of the things that they want to do as part of aviation reform is to concession the 4 major airports in Nigeria, which is, a major role. There's a major role that SAHCO could play there because they could operate the different airports. So that's a new revenue stream. And then there's also the MRO, which is the maintenance facilities. So we don't have any, we have one actually. So we have one maintenance hangar currently, which runs C-checks on airplanes and does the general, maintenance and overhaul of aircrafts, which is quite a big business. I think it's potentially like a $4 billion business in Africa. But the way things are being run, we only have one, which is currently being run by Aero Contractors, which is essentially a government-owned company anyway. So the government plans to set up more of those and concession them. So SAHCO has plans to, get these concessions for the airports and for the MRO.
We thought aviation development company, of course, the one that became ADC in those days and stopped doing that and moved on to commercial aviation. And of course, that company later listed on exchange and became grounded and what have you. So you think there's more there to play in that aviation development business in Nigeria? I'm sure whether you have one in Zaria, whatever it was, and one in Lagos, maybe Abuja and Port Harcourt. I'm not too sure if you have a sea hangar in Abuja.
No, we don't at the moment. So it's in the south. There's one in the south. South, so I think it's in either Rivers or Bayelsa, and then there's one in Lagos. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the only two, but I think it's just one that's currently functional at the time. Yeah. And then there's also the issue of Nigerian Air. So if Nigerian Air comes on stream and operations are running smoothly, that's another space where that's another company where SAHCO could sign on as a client.
Well, where is the bulk? Where do these aviation handling companies making the bulk of their money? On local flight operators or on international airlines?
So actually, we're seeing the bulk being made in the cargo space.
Cargo?
Yes. So Nigeria, we do a lot of importing. We're a more import-dependent country. So they have, SAHCO has a very excellent cargo facility in Murtala Mohammed Airport. So this has been certified by the IATA, which is the international aviation regulator. So this is a brilliant facility. I've gone to see it. So that's where the bulk of revenues come from, and that's a big selling point for SAHCO as well.
So cargo is the big business.
Yes,
is the biggest part of the business case.
Yeah, in recent times, yes.
What's the investment case here? And that's where we need to talk about, because does this privatization process make it look like, yes, government can actually transit a company from being government-owned to private sector-owned and actually take it to the market and just hands it off and let market forces take its course?
I mean, the company has been running as a private company for the past 9 years. So it's not like the government is just handing off now. And we're seeing that, in that 9 years, the company has developed a plan. There's been a roadmap. There's been, the company has developed a strategy as to how they want to run forward. And we're seeing that, revenue, assets have grown triple digits in that time. So, it's at this point, it's now just a case of complying with the agreement at that time to offer up, a company which was once part of the government to be owned by, the citizens of Nigeria.
Okay. Any idea how the things will go between SAHCO PLC and NACO Avians head to head?
Oh yeah, we're gearing up for tough competition going forward.
Right from the listing day.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be. Yes, it's going to be on the listing day. Then all the gloves are off.
The gloves are off.
Technically speaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For coming. Okoyemi Ani, member of the research team at Cordos Capital, initiating the coverage of the current government company, CFX company, SAHCO PLC, where government via the BP is doing divestment. Let's come back after the break. Let's check in with the debt market, shall we? Okay, so yesterday was the third trading day. The Naira weakened 0.27% against the dollar to 366 at the parallel market. That's what they call the street market, like a black market here. But the currency, local currency, strengthened about slightly 0.02% to 364.15 at the I&E FX window. The total turnover at the I&E was also down a little bit to $134.9 million US dollars. Those transactions done between 358 and 365.5 band at the market. So that's the story. That's the background to currencies market. Then, of course, the currency is coming a bit under pressure, headwinds against the local unit, as we see investors sell down on equities and taking positions at the debt market. So let's go to FMDQ Exchange Place in downtown Lagos, where Chukwuma Ebuche, who is an FX dealer at FSDH Merchant Bank, is joining us for this conversation. Chukwuma, it's good to have you on the program. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you. Whatever we sell, whatever you do, currency or the Naira is a major factor. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So this pressure on the Naira, where is it coming from? And do you see this sell-off now as a major pushback for the Naira?
So basically, we've seen the sell-off happen in the equities market, and this has also happened in the fixed income markets as well. And we could attribute that to the sell-off from most of the offshore clients, or rather offshore investors who have been exiting. And they've been down to two factors, basically, or rather three, if I may put it that way. We have seen the U.S. Fed increase rates recently, and coupled with the 2019 general elections coming up next year. So it's more of them having. It's more like they would feel better having to have a better stay away from exchange rate risk. But we've had the I&E window come into effect, which has helped cushion the effect of this exit by the foreign investors. I mean, as of yesterday, we had a total turnover of over $350 million with just 375 trades. The CBN as well has also done its job in helping to curb the increase in rates in that market, especially in the wholesale and retail SMIs auction. As of yesterday, we heard that they sold a total of $210 million as well. So that's it.
More pressure still coming through for the local currency unit. And where would this coming from? How soon will there be a breather, as it were, as the political space gets a little bit more hotter and folks could think buying up the dollar may be a good a position now to hedge against some level of uncertainties or risks moving forward? Chukwuma, my question is this. Do you think there'll be more pressure?
I didn't get you.
Do you think there'll be more pressure on the Naira as we get into the deeper end of the political period, with some folks thinking if they buy up the dollar a bit and save it, that will help them hedge against some risk in the near term?
Well, that is likely to happen. But we have seen the CBN come out to say they will take the stance of fighting the rise of the Naira against the dollar. So it's just for a little time frame, and I think by the first quarter of next year we would see things probably return to normalcy.
Okay, first quarter of next year. Let's see how things plays out. Thank you very much. You got to get back to your desk. Chukwuma Ebuche of FX dealer at FSDH Merchant Bank. Thank you very much for coming through via the FMDQ Exchange Place. And we'll be coming to you from here, Channels Television, Global Headquarters in Lagos. I'll see you again tomorrow, Friday. That's the final trading day of the month, and it's time to say goodbye to November. Let's do that together tomorrow.